Warning: this show contains mature content and adult language, and a lot of what may be considered offensive comedy. We consider ourselves professional idiots, so if you're offended in any way, we are sorry, but you have been warned. Hello!
Hey!
It's that time again.
Back.
Talk Stuff's
Sunday night.
official episode 2 of our podcast. How's it going, guys?
I'm very well. How are
Good.
you? Yeah,
I'm
not
good.
bad.
Just to mention, Mike is on the show today.
Hello.
Hello, Mike.
Hi, how's it going?
He's a good friend of ours, and we're all good.
Yeah.
So,
Here we are.
I've got a story that has happened. I've had a tragic thing happen to me in the build-up to today's podcast.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I was doing my usual business because I like to have my room nice and tidy before the podcast starts, and I decided to hoover my room. And I got raped by the hoover. I'm sorry. I was wearing...
What?
There was a slight pause after break.
I
Just
was
made me think that
raped.
some guy just burst into your room and just
Let me
started
just
pounding
clarify.
away.
You said Hoover, right?
Yeah, the hoover. Basically, I got up in the pair of boxes that I fell asleep in, and yeah, as Toby would know, we had a few cocktails last night, so
Just
like
a few.
my boxes were skew with. I couldn't be bothered to change them, so I was hoovering, and the little button on my boxes was open. So I was hoovering, and the pipe of the hoover fell off, and I kind of went and tried to catch it with my foot, and I thought I was cool. And I fell backwards, and I dropped the hoover thing, and in that split second where it falls on the floor, it managed to latch itself onto my cock. Quite literally, it was being sucked in through my boxes. It was the most terrifying moment of my entire life.
I had an
amazing.
interesting thing happen in the build up to the podcast. Just before we started recording, we all did the, anyone need a piss and all that. And I ran off to the toilet and I got attacked.
Pre-journey flight plan.
Yeah, I
Kids,
got
either
attacked
way,
by what I'm presuming is Greg's cousin.
Really?
I'm gonna call him Boris
Boris? Good name.
because he flew up my nose and it took me by surprise. And I shouted a little bit, and nearly fell down the stairs.
we're giving Greg's track record of being a cunt. I think his little friend Boris, or whatever you can name him, he's
Well, I mean, I only live around the corner from you, so it's very plausible that Greg popped over and was like, "Well, I fucked over one of them last week. Time to get the other."
Well, I
another
told
one."
you the other day he was listening to the podcast. He must have been because he was back in the room, like probably talking about it. But
Son
like
of a
Toby
bitch.
and I were talking earlier. Actually, he actually called me, and he was like, "Why are you out of breath?" And I was like, "That's okay. I don't want to talk about it." Okay, tell me, come on. I was just like, I don't want to really, I was making some dinner at this point, and I was in the kitchen, and he was like, "Come on, just tell me what was." Why you're so out of breath? And I was like, okay, fine. Greg was in the kitchen, and it took me about half an hour to try and swat him, which I didn't manage to do. When you roll up a tea towel and you whip things, I was doing that for a good half an hour whilst my dinner was cooking.
Mate, you're
I don't
insane.
think trying to towel whip a fly is really the best course of action to get rid of a fly.
Yeah, but I thought it was a good
pretty
plan
good.
because I really hate Greg, but I kind of love him as well.
Do you
Got that-
remember our towel whip competitions?
Yes, I do.
The bloody
Towel-
welts we got on us for after those.
Mike's
Should
had a
have
lot
been
of
prepared
parties
then,
at
Dan.
the time. This is
Yeah.
actually quite a good sort of subject to get onto. We've had quite a few good times at your house, haven't we, Mike?
We really have. Oh god.
Just to whip each other with towels. Wet towels, were they?
Wet towels.
Wet towels. And they hurt a lot. Bruises. I mean, I think it was James and Gareth who went absolutely mental
Yeah, they
that
did.
one time. They were literally purple.
They were bleeding. They did it so much.
I think there are some pictures actually. I'll try and find them, but
Mm.
God, that was crazy. I don't know. I don't get why we do these sort of things.
Because we're stupid.
Everyone
Let's be
did them.
honest.
I
Be honest.
guarantee me and my brother did exactly the same. You
Yeah, I
get a
think
long
it's-
fucking towel, you wrap it up as tightly as you can, and you whip that cunt in the ass.
I think it's just a guy thing, really, isn't it? We
That's
kind
very
of
much a
it's
guy
almost
thing,
like
yeah.
tests of manliness. Like one guy does one thing, and everyone else has to do it. Unless they're a pussy. Actually, there was this one good funny story. Actually, one of Mike's birthday. I think it's her 21st, wasn't it, Mike?
Oh god. Oh god.
Well, I was chilling.
Here we
I was
go.
chilling in
So up
his
for this.
kitchen, you know, chatting away to all our friends and everything, and I hear this scream, and this is Mike's sister's screaming. So I went to the aid to find out what happened, and
Yeah.
she ran out of the toilet. And I was like, "What's in the toilet? That's maybe it's a giant spider or something. Maybe I could pick it up and throw it at someone." But no, it wasn't. It was Mike passed out on the toilet with his trousers around his ankles and his cock dangling between his legs.
Of course.
Oh god, I was so very, very drunk.
That sounds like
Wow.
a good party.
It was a fantastic party. I loved
Sounds
that
sad,
party.
The best thing about it was he was way too drunk to pick himself up, or like all he could do was sort of smile and go, "Oh, my dick's out! Oh god!" And everyone was like, it was like a zoo attraction. Everyone was coming along to look at it.
Yeah, but there were pictures of it like on the internet now.
Wow.
I don't know where it's gone actually. I'm pretty sure Facebook probably removed it. Or
It was on the Team Talon website,
yeah.
the Facebook page, which we are no longer members of. So
yeah, because it's too much of a cool cult. Of course.
of course,
Of course.
Well, I'm talking about
Exactly.
stories. This is going to come up one time or another, so I'm going to do it now before culprits who come on and elaborate the stories far too much
Uh-oh.
come on and talk about them. So there's a set of 3 stories between my friends and I with past drunk antics. Mainly James and John, who are the 2 culprits that tell these stories, but only 2 of the 3 stories are true.
Right.
And I'm going to tell 3. I'll tell you the 2 true ones, and I'll tell you the false one afterwards.
I think I've heard this before.
Yeah.
I
So-
think I've heard them before.
Usually, they tell them in the set of 3, and they tell the false one last anyway. Basically, the first story, these are all events that have actually happened in my house, apart from the untrue one, of course. The first time, I had constipation.
Right.
Really bad
Good way to
constipation.
start any story.
And I was
Constipation.
I was on the toilet, and it was that last final bit where you get that constipation out. I don't know if anyone's ever had it. I apologise for.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Go on.
Yeah.
I can't relate.
But like, basically, like my mum was standing on by the door, and she was egging me on, and my mate John was around as well.
Your mum was egging
Okay.
She
you
was
on.
like, "Come on, you can do it. Just finally push that last little bit out. You can do it." And I was
Jesus
like,
Christ.
So I strained so hard that I pissed, and I pissed all the way up the door. It actually strained that much, and it was like a fire hose. It was great. That's one of the stories. The second one is me,
Wow.
James, Matty, John were drinking around my house. We were drinking a lot of wine. I had almost 2.5 bottles of wine.
As you do.
And we all know what it's like when I get past that drunk stage. I'm a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
So Matty and James thought it was a good idea to pull down my trousers while I was passed out and put a tampon in my bum. But
For fuck's sake.
didn't quite go in because, you know, it was dry and they weren't like, you know, thinking, "Oh, let's lube it up and stick it in." So we thought it was a good idea to put it in between my bum cheeks and use one of my flip-flops that I was wearing.
Oh, I remember this story. I think John told me this one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think John
He
told
would-
me as
and then
well.
he would have told you this last story is that, and I'm pretty sure, just before I say this, I'm pretty sure he was the one who did it and thought he'd pin it on me.
Right.
Okay.
But because he tells those first 2 stories, it makes this last one believable for me, so he can get
Right.
away and find it funny. So basically, he said there was this one time I had a poo, I was wiping my bum with the last sheet of paper, and my finger slipped through and went up my bum.
I remember
I've
this
heard
story.
I've heard
I know
this.
this story.
I am pretty sure
Yeah, I've
it was
heard all
him
that.
who's done that, and he's blamed it on me. But he tells those 2 stories, and then
Yeah.
he tells that one, and then everyone's like, "Ah," and I'm like, "It's not true. Come on." I mean, sometimes he'll start with that one, which is his mistake, because then I'm like, "No. Listen, that's not true. These 2 stories are true," and then I tell the stories.
Are you sure that's not true, though, Dan?
It is. It is not true.
You sure you don't think
positive?
you're an ass or you're trying to take a
Sure
shit?
that.
Come on.
Right.
Have you had
Right
any
here.
tell us the
different
Live on
moments?
podcast.
Regularly, after I poo, I finger myself on the toilet.
That's what everyone does.
It's just a thing you do nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's the hip thing all the kids do. I've got a question.
Hey.
Seeing as we were on interesting stories and also alcohol, I figured,
Yes.
what's a better question than have you ever injured yourself ridiculously while being drunk?
Oof.
And is it a good story?
The only thing I think I've ever done is walk into a lamppost.
I think
Yeah,
everybody's
but
done that.
I
That
don't
wasn't
think I've-
really that injured. I just
don't-
hurt a little bit.
I've tried to climb up a tree, and as I've climbed up the tree and sat on the branch, it collapsed and I hit the floor.
That's pretty good.
I remember Joe, one of our other friends, he actually got so drunk off of absinthe that he thought it was a funny idea to climb on top of our mate's car while he was driving. Not like he was driving a bit slow, like pulling away, and he decided to jump on it and cast at it, and then fell off and broke his arm. But like he didn't notice for ages, and he kept going, "My arm really hurts, but it's cool. I saved my beer," and stuff like that. So, but I personally don't think I've actually injured myself.
That's no fun.
There was the time we were like trolley racing down a hill. Although was that James Garman? I don't remember.
James Garman, he probably almost died, and then has another story to tell the tale.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, I'm pretty sure when he comes onto the podcast, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make him tell us all his near-death stories because that'll be interesting.
That would be very
He
interesting.
has actually died and come back to life pretty much from drowning. I'm pretty sure.
He
hell.
died, I think, a total of like twice or something.
Fuck.
That's pretty
And then some
impressive.
other near-death experiences,
That's
Yeah.
insane.
but most of them include being intolerant to alcohol and still drinking.
Yeah, he's an idiot, but he's a fun idiot.
Amazing.
He's the best kind of idiot.
I had my head
All
smashed
idiots.
in once
Oh
Like,
God.
with a bottle.
Jesus.
Was
us
it,
more.
What the fuck did that happen?
well, the story I've told like parents and stuff was like, oh, I was at a house party, and then someone threw a bottle across the room, and it hit me in the head. But I wasn't at a house party. We were in a German war bunker, and there was some guys in the corner. They'd rigged up some lights and stuff to a generator, and they had like a guitar ramp in the corner as well, where they had an iPod playing. And there was just one guy really drunk, and he was just pulling out the little green bottles of Stella you can get.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
just throwing them across the room.
Oh God.
And
Fucking hell.
I took one to the head
As you do.
and ended up in hospital.
Oh no.
Jesus.
But I was chatting up some girl, and
Oh, no.
she wrote her phone number up my arm in lipstick.
Oh.
And when I got to the hospital, I was completely covered in blood. I had my t-shirt over my head and shit. I was a mess. I was hammered.
Yeah.
I was so drunk I didn't actually feel the bottle hit me in the head, which I think is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Probably is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the fucking woman at the hospital wrote the phone number down wrong.
Oh, what a
That was it.
bitch!
Never seen
Ruined
again.
it.
Oh,
Damn. She could have been the one who's got away.
Mm.
It's kind of the ultimate cock block as well, really, isn't it? A bottle
Yeah,
of
pretty
red.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, things were going well. I had the fucking phone number on my arm in lipstick. That's pretty fucking cool.
I think
And
that's
then all
awesome.
of a sudden,
That's
no,
sassy.
head injury.
fuck.
I have to say though, I went to a second party there with the same person, and I walked in the door, and some guy turned around and went, "Did you get a head injury last time?" And I went, "Yeah, bottle hit me in the head." He goes, "That was me. Sorry, have a beer." I went,
At least he said sorry,
That-
though.
that-
yeah, he was
Well,
fucking massive, and I was like,
He could've-
"Forgiven, mate. You're forgiven."
Right. He could have just easily lied and never said anything about it and just sat there feeling guilty. Well, I suppose then he got it off his chest and he's fine.
Yeah,
That story, is that the one that Nikki wrote the song for that we've used for the theme tune of the podcast?
Oh no! That's another story entirely.
Oh, tell us.
Oh
Tell us.
Christ!
Yeah, you got to elaborate now.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
a feeling I had to. Right, the song is called "Can't Keep Him Down." It's about me and a few mates breaking into 2 abandoned hotels and stealing loads of shit and breaking loads of shit, and then being caught on CCTV because they weren't abandoned; they were closed for winter.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, the first line of the song is, "This is how it started: the abandoned hotel."
Yay.
Whoops.
That's good. Let's
Wow.
see, we've got a little bit of history behind the music that starts on the show now.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And every time people listen to that, they're going to go, "Oh, there's that story that Tovich broke into a hotel that he thought was abandoned, but it wasn't."
Yeah, I did 50 hours community service for that, and paid a
did you do, Joe?
£600 fine.
Jesus,
At
£600
least you
fine.
didn't
Nasty.
give us in time.
No, exactly, but they did threaten us with 3 months in prison. So
Oh, shit.
sorry, not 3 months, 3 years.
Really?
Yeah,
Cool.
that was in 2009, so I would have gotten out of prison not last year, but the year before.
Oh, and you would never have been doing this right now.
Nope.
We're not evil people. It was
No,
just
that was there's quite. I should probably elaborate a bit further. There's a few abandoned buildings and things in Jersey, and it's fairly common, as there's fuck all to do in Jersey, that kids go up and explore them, and then you can only explore them a few times before you get bored. And then we said to someone, "Do you know of any more?" They said, "Yeah, go check out this hotel." So we did.
It's always someone, isn't it? It's always someone who you ask, and they go, "Yeah, do this."
And then
Yeah.
we went, "Yeah, sure." But the funny thing is, the hotel they were referring to had actually been knocked down 2 days before we went to look for it.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
So
right.
So you
Like,
just went to the
in
wrong
their
place.
defense,
We went to the wrong hotel. But to be fair, though, we did take a fuck ton of booze and had the best New Year's Eve party ever.
Well, Joby, you say Jersey's boring. I had a good time when I was there.
Well, yeah, because I took you to all the touristy things.
Ask me what my favourite part was.
Okay, Dan, what was your favourite part of Jersey?
My favourite part of Jersey was the Jersey cow.
The Jersey cow.
I love Jersey cows.
Oh
They're
my
awesome.
fucking God, we were driving down this fucking road, and he goes, "Stop, stop!" And I slammed the brakes on, like, "What?" And he's like, "It's a cow."
They have
Christ's
such
sake.
beautiful eyelashes, and they're such a nice brown colour. They look like they don't smell. They look really well kept. The ones here you see around the New Forest, they're just like, oh, you look at them, they look like they've got AIDS.
They just look like
I don't,
cows.
think
mate.
I don't think I've ever seen a cow that looks like it has AIDS.
Yeah.
Really don't
That's
think I have.
T-shirt.
Do you know what else you don't see on the road, Mike?
What?
Deers.
I see lots of deer.
One deer didn't see you though, did it?
No, I did not.
Oh dear, what happened?
Tell us.
Oh, here
Tell
we
us the
go.
story.
I was driving. I'd actually just literally given blood, and I was driving home from Lymington to
Ironic.
where I live, and this deer just jumped out into the middle of the road and smash straight into it. Yeah, it's probably one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me. It is terrifying to get into yourself into one of those situations.
I can imagine. It's quite funny though. You gave blood and took blood. What about what I find funny is like I remember we were sat in the pub together and Mike gets a phone call and he sits there and he's just like, sorry, what? And he goes off and he starts talking to this person. tell us what happened.
The insurance companies. Yeah, I've been getting questions from insurance companies for quite a while now since it happened like last May. So it's been happening for over like a year and a month. I've been getting calls from these insurance companies, and he said that one of this particular like quite a few times they've said oh well the other person involved in the accident is actually claimed on the insurance. And I said, I hit a deer. How has a dead deer claimed on insurance?
I seem to remember it was that first call because I swear I heard you and you just went, okay, so the dead deer's claimed on its insurance, and the guy on the phone must have been like, ah.
He hung up after I did.
That's amazing.
There was
Fucking
one
hell.
time. So there's been a couple of times when I've said I hit a deer, and they've just gone, "Oh dear," and then like just
fuck's
laughed
sake.
and shoot.
Well, yeah, the funny note for that is our like producer Bevan just actually put that message to us. So
Yeah, I noticed. It's a joke
gonna say-
that I've never heard before.
It's probably a good time mentioning you, Bevan. We should probably mention the advances we've made this week.
We should, yeah.
Yeah, we now have a producer, Mr. Bevan Edwards.
Bevan,
Yeah,
who you'll
we
meet
have
next week.
spammed the internet like a motherfucker this week.
Bevan, who you'll meet like next week on the show,
yeah, he
is
is.
now our producer. So he's doing all the recording and Bizzle while we talk. Toby just brought a new microphone, if you can hear, and Brand's done the same, but his hasn't come yet.
No, hopefully it comes next week.
Boy, the same day mine did. Mine arrived in within 24 hours.
Yep.
Brand's taken a few days so far.
Well,
That's
you know,
pretty
it's typical. It's typical for me, isn't it? Really?
Appreciate it. It's gonna come by Sunday, guys. For fuck's sake. So let's talk about some current affairs this week.
Kind
Did
of
anyone see what was released about Charles Bronson?
No.
No,
No.
no.
For everyone must know who Charles Bronson is anyway. You know, the
Yeah.
crazy hard guy who went to prison, English prisoner. He actually went on a rampage the other day. In
Really?
the prison.
Another
Yeah, he
one.
went on a rampage because basically a couple of weeks ago, Arsenal won the FA Cup in the football,
Somehow.
and
The Arsenal ladies one as well. this
did
week.
they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. And Bronson is a Tottenham fan, and for people who don't know much about football, Tottenham and Arsenal are both North London. They have a massive rivalry and they hate each other. Bronson found out the news about Arsenal winning and went on a rampage and beat 12 guards up. Took him
Oh,
12 of them to
Jesus.
pin him down.
Fucking hell.
And before he went on his rage, he looped himself up with Lurpak so they couldn't grab him.
Well, I
That's
mean, if you're going
amazing.
to do it, you've got to buddy yourself up.
I know. There's been some quite good like football related like stuff lately. The I don't know if anyone saw it. I'm pretty sure I showed you guys, but it's been posted all over the internet. Someone who threw a paper airplane at Wembley when England played Peru the other night.
That
They
was
threw a paper airplane from like the top stand, and it flew down and hit one of the players in the head.
one of the Peru players.
Absolutely
Wasn't it?
fantastic. I'll dig out the video and I'll chuck a link up so you guys can watch it. Even if you're not into football, it's just funny as hell to watch.
It
As
is
soon as the
hilarious.
plane hits the player, the whole crowd just like
Yeah,
erupts.
just mental. It's like a goal was scored.
And it's got the video you sent me earlier. It's got the point of view of the guy who throws the paper
Yeah,
airplane.
and what we
then
saw
it's
on the
got
TV.
the TV's point of view as well,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah,
both
it's really-
amazing. It's just like it sails down, and you're like, all right, that's getting pretty far. It's in the face.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
it's very good. It's very
The
good.
guys through that must be so happy that it's like, yes, shot.
Yeah, they did. He just goes, "Go on, mate, chuck it," in the video, and then like people were going, "Oh," because it was just flying down, and like they couldn't really see it. Like they were just watching it just fly towards the pitch, and they're like, "Oh, this is brilliant!" It's like paper airplanes flying. It's not just dive bombed into the crowd, and it literally hits the player in the head, and everyone goes spastic. It's fucking funny.
I like how the player just it hits him in the head, and he just looks at it like, "Fuck's sake!" and then carries on playing.
Doesn't happen. This doesn't happen in Peru.
Where the fuck did this come from?
So what's the thing with Yaya Toure as well? Like his thing with his birthday the other day.
What, that he's upset with Manchester City because no one said happy birthday.
Jesus.
They
I have
didn't
to say,
give him a
like-
birthday present.
I'm in two minds with this thing.
It's got stretched a lot. Like a lot of media stuff is blown it out of proportion.
Yeah, totally.
proportion. Sorry,
And
but it's because a lot of the other players have had like expensive cars and stuff bought for their birthdays, and
He
they
didn't even get a fucking
They didn't
tweet.
even get him a cake, did they? Or like a tweet message saying happy birthday to him, and he was just unhappy of the way the club was treating him.
Whereas,
Yeah.
like, I mean, like football aside, if you work for any club thing like that, right? Any
Yeah.
sporting club or whatever,
Especially if you're well known, and like he was their best player last season as well. So like an influential, especially in an influential position in that sports club or any club.
yeah. But like a player in that position for any club of any kind, if he said a little while ago he thought he wasn't getting any respect from the club, and then he doesn't get shit for his birthday. And then everyone's gone, oh, you're just being a dickhead, you fucking make millions and all this, and you just want a fucking birthday treat and stuff. No, I'm on his fucking side.
I'm on
I think if they're not fucking prepared to even send him a decent message for his birthday, then I think he should just fuck him off and go somewhere else and then show him up by beating him.
Yeah, I
Or
think
Liverpool.
You should, yeah.
So you
I-
would want
wouldn't
to go to
you?
Liverpool.
I know nothing about football, but I think that if I didn't get a birthday message on my birthday, I'd still be a little bit pissed off.
I mean, like he's a pretty big player for the club.
He is, yeah.
So like, I mean, regardless of what club and stuff, it's just shit.
Definitely.
Hmm.
So Mike,
Yes.
as you're the special guest on this week,
Hello.
I think you should give us a couple of topics to talk about. I think we should really put some more effort into talking to you right now.
Oh God, topics. Has anyone seen the new X-Men film?
Yes.
Yes, we have, yeah.
In fact, it's been
Oh.
out. How long's it been out now?
It was
A couple of weeks? 2 weeks?
Thursday?
I,
About 2-3 weeks.
Wednesday?
something like that.
No, it was Wednesday at midnight, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it's been out
Yeah.
half a week. That means we
Okay.
can't give out spoilers yet.
We can't give out spoilers. I
been
won't
half
give
a
out any
week.
spoilers.
Yeah, it's only been out like 5 days, if that.
Really?
It
Shit.
came out last Thursday. I went to see
It
it.
feels about 2 weeks ago.
Well,
Shit.
Wednesday at midnight launch.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
You're all there.
We were.
Oh yeah, I forgot I went to see it with you guys.
Nice.
I just realised that. Like, Mike was like,
Yeah.
"It's a new X-Men film." I was like, yeah.
Also-
Yeah, we saw it with you, Mike.
I'm pretty sure I was sat next to you. No, I wasn't actually.
No,
I
I'm
was sat
not-
next to Toby and Laura.
Mm.
Brad
Uh,
wasn't sat with
It was
us.
good. I
No,
really
I
enjoyed
wasn't
it.
sat with you guys.
He was on a gay
Like-
date.
Fuck off.
I think a really good way to like put it over to people without giving anything away,
Yes.
right? And this really doesn't give anything away before anyone gets upset about spoilers and stuff. If you had anything from the last X-Men films that you didn't like compared to the story of the comics and stuff,
Mhm.
they fix it.
They do.
everything.
That's it. Just can you think of a problem? Yes, I can. They fixed it.
I can think quite a few
That is
problems.
pretty much what they
The
did with this
last
film.
stand.
And it doesn't really include Wolverine in that either, because the events from Wolverine still pretty much happen.
Yeah, like
Technically, yeah.
It
Except for the
doesn't.
second film is questionable because of the fact that I don't want to give anything away.
It doesn't sort of ruin the continuity. It sort of just changes the continuity.
Yeah.
And
It's more of what
sets
happens.
it sort of sets up the universe for like more films that will carry it on.
Yeah,
So-
the Apocalypse saga thing.
Yeah, we've got Apocalypse coming. That's gonna be
It'll
fun.
be very good to see how they do that.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's going to be cool. I think that's going to be awesome. As you love movies and you're an avid scriptwriter as well, I'm going to chuck you. What are your top 5 movies?
Oh Jesus, I wasn't expecting this. Okay, I reckon. Actually, you know what? Toy Story.
Just
Toy
go check
Story's
it
a
out
good
there.
film.
Toy Story.
Just Toy
Like it.
Story. It's an amazing film. It's-
I love. Are you talking just the first one, or just in all of it in general? Or...
well, the first one is probably my favorite, but that's probably because I was very young. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like the first film I ever saw in the cinema.
I love. I
it-
mean, I love Toy Story. Toy Story, the first one was absolutely fantastic. I remember watching that hundreds of times.
Yeah,
Mm.
same. So
Still
it's probably
will.
got quite a lot
Yeah.
of sentimental like value to me, but at
Yeah.
the same time, the other two are amazing. It's especially number 3 is better than 2, but
Yeah.
yeah, they are really good. I mean, number 3 made me cry on several occasions, and I'm not ashamed to admit that.
No, I have to
Well-
agree with you on that.
No.
I didn't
Definite
cry. There's
cried
been only one
myself.
time in the movies where I've cried.
When was that?
Yeah.
Well,
elaborate.
it was in a film called Dungeons and Dragons. And the like kind of jokey sidekick snail.
Yeah,
Dude.
I know exactly.
When
the
he
moment you're
dies, when
talking
he died, I actually shed a tear, and I was like, "Wow, that's the
Spoilers.
first time I've ever cried at a movie, and the last time I've ever cried at a movie."
But that's such a terrible but amazing film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
It actually that film the that has the guy who played Jimmy Olsen from Lois and Clark's the Adventures of Superman in it, and that was the key point of why I went to go see it.
So, where did Toy Story come? Was that your number one, or was that like?
No, Toy Story is pretty much one of my favorite films.
Okay.
I can't really number them because they're all really good, like the same films that I'm thinking of. But
And they're all kind of good for different reasons as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
you can't compare one to another.
Yeah, well, we'll give 5 great movies then. Should we call it 5 great movies that Mike suggests?
Pulp Fiction. You can't
Yes.
go anywhere without
You can't fault,
mentioning
like any kind of
I've never seen
Tarantino
it.
stuff.
Tarantino. Exactly.
I've never seen that film at all, so I
You've
don't
Oh,
know.
never seen
dude.
Pulp Fiction? That is
I've
one that
never-
I would recommend definitely.
Like,
Get
it's
on
alright.
with your
I haven't seen
life.
Snatch either.
You haven't seen Snatch?
No, I haven't.
Fucking
Some
God,
Bad
mate.
Boys
Fucking
too.
horrible cunt, aren't you?
You haven't seen Bad
Too,
Boys
man.
2?
Yeah, I've
You've
seen
seen Bad Boys too.
That's all right then.
I would say Shawshank should probably be up there.
Oh,
Shawshank.
fuck
Shawshank
yeah.
is a fucking.
haven't seen that one either.
Oh my God! Bevan says Shawshank is the number 1 film on IMDb.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't surprise me either. It is fucking great.
Yeah.
Well, add it to the list then.
What else? What other films? How many? That's 3. Got 2 more. I don't want to say things like Star Wars just simply because they are so amazing that they kind of get there with
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I've got one that you could add to the list that I know that you would definitely put in there.
Yeah.
It's one movie that you got me to watch, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That is a brilliant film.
What the hell's that
is-
about?
Robert Downey Jr.
The
in
movie.
that is probably amazing.
Robert Downey Jr. The movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen Kung Pao?
Yes, I've seen Kung Pao. It's one of the best films ever. But
That
I
is one of the best
wouldn't
films
put it
ever
on-
made, that film.
Whoa!
What's this about? 'Cause I've never seen it.
God,
Kung
Brad, I don't
Pao.
wanna show you Kung
I've
Pao,
never
you
seen
will
it or
die.
heard it.
Right, Kung Pao, it basically is this American guy
Right.
who got 2 Japanese films, cut
Yeah.
them together into one, and then green screened himself over the main bloke, and then did
Oh,
all
wow.
the voices himself, and it's amazing.
I have to see this film.
It's the best Japanese spoof
Mate,
film you'll
we'll
ever
have to
fucking
watch
see in
it.
your
We'll
life.
watch it
It's
together because I want to
so
see what your
good.
reaction is when you watch it.
It's one of it's so good.
It's hilarious.
It's probably one of the funniest films I've ever watched in my life, except for the Matrix cow bit. That bit kind of annoys me.
Yeah,
I like it because it's so fucking ridiculous. But it's right at the start where he punches through that guy, and he's like, the narrator's like, "Did you see that? He just punched through that guy. Is that even possible?" Then he comes back later with it on a chain like a cork.
That's when they're talking about the pretend sequel when he
Oh,
comes
yeah.
back.
Yeah, I really need to see this now.
Yeah, you do. Everyone needs to see this film.
It's incredible.
Yeah, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang will probably be on my top 5. That is a really, really good movie, and it's really underrated as well.
It is.
God, films. There's too many good films that I can currently think of to actually,
Okay. Here's a curveball then. How about bad films? Really bad films.
really bad films.
Stuff like I'm pretty sure I've heard people go, Man of Steel was the worst film I've ever seen, sort of thing.
Man of Steel was really, really bad, but it wasn't really, really bad. It's just the plot didn't make any sense. Amazing Spider-Man 2, terrible. People will really disagree with me on that, but I didn't like it.
Yeah, I do, but I won't get too
Okay.
much into it.
The action sequence in Amazing Spider-Man 2 were good.
Yeah,
The scripting of that film, the dialogue was just diabolical. Oh, it just they were told all the wrong things to say. That's the scripting was just awful.
Is it one of those films where the best bits of scripting is in the adverts?
Yeah, and they completely missed out one of the bits that's in the adverts. Have you seen this? The
Is that-
trailer. There's
Yes,
the bit where
yeah.
Harry is saying, "Why is Oscorp following you?" It's not in the film at all.
Marvel have done that before
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
Avengers.
yeah,
They had the advert for the Avengers. Sorry, I'm eating some chocolate.
it's fine.
Guilty.
They had the advert for the Avengers, and there was like the bit where Tony Stark's arguing with Captain America. No, with Thor or something. Either way, and he's like, "Take off the suit. And what does that leave you?" And he's like, "A genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist."
That is in the film.
That
It
is-
no, it is in the film,
yeah,
but
Yeah.
he says it in a really funny way in the advert, and it's like it's serious in the film. He says it. The cut they used, or the take they used for the film, is completely different, and he says
Fair.
it in a really serious way, and it's not funny anymore. It's like, I don't know if that was their intention, but I mean, I don't know if Bevan will agree or disagree with me on this one, but I'm of the mind of, if you're going to make a movie, I don't think you should make the adverts have anything that isn't in the movie in them.
No, I'm
No.
with
Does that
you
make
on that.
sense?
Yeah,
with you
I'm
on
with
that
you
as
on
well.
that.
But,
I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure there's
I
like some very big psychological movies that you
I try not
get
to
away
watch
with that
any
with.
trailers
but-
nowadays though, because I just go. There's so much social media that goes, "I'll go watch this." So I think, "Oh, I'm gonna go watch that because people say it's good." I don't want to spoil the actual thing. So that's like when Game of Thrones was coming back. I didn't watch the trailers for the new season because I didn't want to ruin it.
No, I know what you mean.
Wait, what season is this? Sorry, I missed that.
Just in general, just whenever there's like season trailers, I don't ever watch them because if I like the show, I'm gonna watch it. I don't need to watch a trailer to get excited about it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But
Yeah.
TV show trailers come out fairly soon to when the TV show is going to come out.
Yeah.
But then, like, you get like film trailers for like stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy. Their first trailer came out just before or just after Christmas?
something like that.
Film's not
Yeah.
in the cinema
Oh,
till August.
The Guardians of the Galaxy trailer just made me jizz everywhere.
Yeah. See, I liked that.
Yeah, I
That was
completely
good.
agree.
Like you
That
can
was-
tell them, Toby, when we were watching it, and like Rocket Raccoon said something, I literally just lost it and
Yeah.
just went mental.
He blew his load everywhere. I had to send him home to change.
You did, yeah.
As Bevan tells me that the trailer cutting things out the movie that they were in the trailer happened with the transport. When he deflects a missile in the trailer, Statham forced him to cut it out because it was unrealistic.
In the
No
Transporter.
way. I see that shit
Yeah.
happen all the time.
Transporter isn't exactly a realistic film, is it really? To be honest.
Oh, with
I
a
believe
cooking
Jason
tray.
Statham.
Oh, with a cooking tray. Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I could see why they would get rid of
I don't know,
that.
have you guys ever played Tomb Raider?
Which one? Or just
The
any?
first one?
No.
Eh,
Probably.
it's alright.
10 out of 10.
Why not?
The butler, you shoot the butler and he's just like, boom, reflects it with the thing. Because you know, you do a little hack where you can get the guns. Well, not the
Yeah.
hack, but the
Yeah.
secret. You get the guns. You shoot him, he deflects it with his thing. Yeah, put him in the freezer and do the time trial in like 40 seconds.
Bevan literally said you can put him in the freezer. As I said, you can lock him in the freezer.
Yeah.
Timing.
I love it. So on the same ball. I love it.
So what about the big fight, guys? And I'm not talking about Foch versus Groves.
That was
I'm talking
nuts,
about-
though, if you've seen the knockout punch from it.
I'm
Fuck
talking
me,
about-
that was good.
it's amazing.
Tonight, the Mountain versus the Red Viper.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Talking about
Oh,
Game
my
of Thrones.
goodness.
Obviously, Mike knows the outcome because he's read the books, but none of us have actually read the books.
No.
I think I'm excited. Even if I knew the outcome, I'm really excited to see what happens and how they do it.
Yeah.
What happens to Tyrion as well?
Oh, don't give away
Oh, no.
the exciting little bits.
Unfortunately, I think some cunt wrote the what happens on the picture for that event.
Oh, God.
Right.
So don't look at the picture on the Facebook event for the fight. Because somebody made a Facebook event, the
Yeah.
Viper versus the Mountain.
Yeah.
Don't look at the picture because I think there's a fucking spoiler on it.
Okay.
And
I'm glad
I fucking read it, didn't I?
Oh.
It's really interesting to see like if people are spoiling it or not, and whether people are doing fake spoilers. I had with my girlfriend, which she said, I want you to tell me 3 spoilers, 2 of which are fake and 1 of which is real. And so I did that, and she thinks she's figured out the right one.
I have actually got quite a pressing issue I really want to talk about.
Go on.
I bought some Rice Krispies the other day
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
from Asda. And I
Right.
thought I'd go on the cheap side and buy some Asda own ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like eating rice rocks.
Yeah, that can't be good.
Oh, seriously. They're so hard. I left them in the milk for 25 minutes and they were still hard. And I theoried this with 2 bowls and they're just disgusting. I don't know what's wrong with them. It's not just a dud packet, I'm sure, but don't ever buy Asda's own cereal.
Was she
Rice-
then thought that you could come and spam me with your raging messages?
I did. I was upset, and then I really wanted some shreddies, and I'd never know. I don't even know why I bought Rice Krispies because I wanted shreddies. I just don't have a brain. I was pretty upset about it though. So has anyone played any games lately? Any good games?
I'm still Final
good
Fantasy
game.
X.
I've
That's
been
not really-
playing some WildStar. I've been playing some Guild Wars. I've been playing some Tropico.
Oh, you love the Tropico.
You fucking love the Tropico.
Yeah. Well, I've been looking at WildStar actually. WildStar's just come out.
Yeah, the
Just
early
release,
access
like pre-release,
started,
early access release just done.
the early access started yesterday.
So, have you had a chance to actually play it properly? Oh no, you haven't. I don't think, have you? Because
No,
I asked Ross today because I thought, oh, I'd see like if he's got anything on it, how good
doesn't
live is
have
stuff, but
internet at
he
the
doesn't have
moment.
internet, so
So
which
how
is
much
quite
the subscription for it then?
Oh, yeah.
God, it's like $8.99 for a month, and then it goes.
So
like,
they are literally
shit.
going like wow.
Wow,
kind of.
it is literally
Okay.
wow subscriptions. But I've got a month free, so I'll play the first month, and if I'm enjoying it loads, I might subscribe. But at the moment, I'm just sort of like, yeah, I'll wait for it to come free to play, which it will inevitably do.
Do you think so? Do you reckon they will let that happen, or
Everything that isn't WoW becomes free to play eventually. It just sort of happens.
yeah?
It's happened too many times for me not to expect it to happen.
Yeah, that
If
is
it
true.
doesn't, then fine, but it probably will.
I'm excited to play it. I would love to play it, but obviously I need to upgrade my system at the moment before I can start playing any kind of hardcore games.
There's
because
no way
I
my
was on-
laptop will. Sorry, there's no way my laptop will be able to play it
Yeah,
because
You
he
might be
might.
able to on like really low specs.
yeah. The beta didn't have any. They only had like optimization for higher specs when I was playing
Yeah.
it, so I put it on the low specs to run it, and it was just like dog shit, literally dog shit.
It is really, really good. It is a really good MMO. It's really fun to play, and the combat for some of the classes, like the spell slinger and the engineer, are the 2 that I sort of focused on during the beta. And it's just the fact that you can start casting whilst you're in midair just makes it that much better for me, because you can just literally just start double jumping over their heads while starting to cast, and then as you land, firing off a shot. It just
That's
makes
cool.
it makes the combat just so much more fluid.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look at this now.
the fluidity. Yeah, that's something that I was like watching and going, yeah, I really like the look of this because of that. I like the graphics, to be honest. They're
Yeah,
quite
it's
nice. I
pretty-
like the setting, like the theme they've got.
Yeah,
the
the whole
UI is really
space
nice.
thing. Yeah, there are some of the races, like I can't remember what they're called, but they're like tiny fuzzy ones. Where when you do a double jump, when you land, you do a little roll afterwards.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah, see, I wanted to get that kind of addictive factor. Like, there was this guy that I once knew who was like the WoW hook, I'll call it. But there's this guy that like I used to play WoW with who said that he was around his friend's house at this guy's house party, and he said that this guy wasn't downstairs. He was a massive WoW player anyway, and apparently he was upstairs in his bedroom while his party was going on, just sat there playing WoW.
Oh
And he
my
goes-
god.
But he went into his room and he went, Jesus, your room stinks. Why is that? And he goes, lift up the mattress to the bed. Lifted up the mattress to the bed, and there was 46 bottles of Coke bottles of piss under there, where he's just sat there for days, just not getting up.
That's
horrendous.
weird.
It's so fucked up.
That's a
And
bit over the top.
Yeah, a little bit.
it's fucking disgusting, man. It's crazy. But like,
That
I
is
can understand,
actually
like,
horrendous.
if you're Bevan just said to us he brought 46 bottles of Coke for that. And I was like, well, not really, because he probably just sat there and drunk all the bottles of Coke because he was fat as well. Fat neck beard, you know, the type.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, he probably chugged for a bottle, then pissed it back out into it.
Oh god.
Jesus.
Nasty.
A great image now has entered my head about that. So great. So thanks,
Dude.
Dan, for that.
Yeah. I've had some, I mean, I've heard like stories of like friends of mine who have been driving on the motorway and they've been stuck in traffic or something like that, and they've really needed to piss, so they've just actually gone in a like can or something and just chucked it out the window.
Oh, that's different.
But the fact that he did have the option to get up and go for a piss, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't have been that hardcore game. And this was around like TBC time, so it wasn't like there was he was doing like some hardcore arena sessions, like trying to hit like 2.8k rated and go for it. But
I mean, I'm sure it doesn't, for him personally, it doesn't take too long to fucking walk out of his room and just take a piss and walk back.
fucking God knows, mate.
No.
Just the fact he was a lazy fat shit, I guess. So who would like to play a little game?
Go
'Cause
on.
how far are we through? We're about halfway through the show now. I
I've
think
got
it's
a
time
time.
to-
I've got a timer going. Don't worry.
I think
We're 45 minutes in.
Yeah, so that's dead on halfway through the show. So let's do a little game.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's what the game is. You get to choose the body of someone, the mind of someone, and then the lifestyle of someone. And that means you make this kind of like as you, human being. So if I use me as an example, like the body counts as like looks as well.
Okay.
Is
So like I'd
does
say I'd
the
like,
body count as face?
yeah, body counts as face as well.
Right. Okay.
So I would like say the body of David Beckham and
Yeah.
like say the mind of Sherlock Holmes, and then the lifestyle of I would have thought this through, but I thought it'd be more fun just to do it straight away on the podcast like this. I'd probably go for like the lifestyle of maybe someone from the Avengers, like maybe like Nick Fury or someone just playing
Oh no, Tony Stark. all
Tony
the
Stark.
way.
Yeah, it's got to be Stark.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking Tony Stark as soon as you said it. So
To be honest, it's you could go with all three for Tony Stark because he's
You
got the
prob-
mind, he's
Yeah,
got
he
the
does.
looks, and he's
Mind,
got
the
the
looks and-
Yeah,
the
he does,
lifestyle.
But aside from that, if we ban that from the question and just for like, you know, a bit more interesting talk about it, let's see, Mike, what would you do if not Tony Stark? What would you choose? It has to be, let's just say it has to be 3 different people.
okay, the body of Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
He is someone I would definitely go gay for.
He's definitely someone I put in the bromance spectrum.
Yeah, he's on my gay list.
Yeah,
He really
Okay,
is.
I like that.
Everyone has gay list, that's fine.
Yeah, how can you not have a gay list? Everyone does. Mind. I can't really think of anyone. Sherlock Holmes is a fantastic one.
Yeah.
And I'm not allowed to go for Tony Stark, so I'm quite stumped. Right, Batman. I'd go for Batman. Bruce Wayne.
What about
lifestyle?
lifestyle?
Trying to think of someone. I'd kind of like the whole superhero lifestyle. I'd love to be able to like have that sort of lifestyle, but that's not what I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna go for someone like who's really, really lazy and doesn't have to do much, but is also really, really rich, so can afford everything.
Does Batman need, like, does he work? Does
He-
Bruce
he-
Wayne-
Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
fucking
he works
Wayne
for Wayne Enterprises, and also at night he's Batman.
You know,
No, I can't actually think of it, but that's just, if you can think of someone who has that lifestyle, then that's who I'd go for.
But lazy and loads of money.
Lazy, loads of money, doesn't really have to do a lot, but just pretty much lives their life how they want to rather than how they have to.
I think I'd take.
My,
I think I'd take the mind of Stephen Hawking,
Yeah.
yeah,
Clever.
one smart ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Not sure if he's ever been described like that before, but go with it.
No, he has once been described by Ricky Gervais as, well, I think Ricky Gervais called him a cunt, actually. He said he
Really?
respects him, but he was a cunt because he goes, Stephen Hawkins, he's all right, what cunt thinks like that? It was pretty funny.
Captain America, Chris Evans. Well, I say that because of the other Chris Evans. I don't want that confusion. That would be a horrible fuck up. Lifestyle wise, I don't know.
It's the hardest one, isn't it? The lifestyle.
Yeah, I think maybe somebody. I don't know.
Oh, lifestyle, Charlie Sheen.
No.
Yeah. Yes, and yes, without the drugs.
Most with the drugs. If you've got that much excitement in your life, go for it. Drugs everywhere.
Would you really want tiger blood though?
I don't think I could handle
I
it,
don't think I could handle tiger blood.
but maybe I could if I was Stephen Hawking in Chris Evans.
See, I'm still trying to help you think, Mike, about the lifestyle thing, but then I just had a really good thought. I think I'd like to have my brain with Jennifer Lawrence's body.
I know. I was
You know
thinking.
what's funny? I was thinking Jennifer Lawrence's body.
When you
That's
first
right.
when you
That's not
first started it up, I was thinking, oh, he's gonna say like your perfect person that you would want to fuck, and I was thinking Jennifer Lawrence. So
She is. Like, I'll put my mind in and have her body. And then I guess my lifestyle would just be sat in front of the mirror.
I'd have her mind too. To be fair, it's not exactly too dissimilar.
Yeah, I know. I think she's pretty much crazy.
Yeah,
Good to me.
mental, but
That's good.
She's a good mental.
I mean, I think quoting Bevan here, actually, he once said, "Don't stick your dick in crazy." But she's not that kind
I have
of
that
crazy.
on my quote board.
She's a different kind of crazy.
She's
Yeah.
the good kind of crazy. There's two
Yeah.
kinds of crazy. There's the J-Law kind of crazy, which is the wonderful time, and then there's the crazy.
There's my ex-girlfriend kind of crazy who decided to scratch her own arms off.
Fuck.
She.
Damn.
Oh my!
Have I not told you this story, guys?
It's
Go on,
not-
I'm going to have to
No.
elaborate for the podcast anyway, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But
Dear God.
yeah, on my 18th birthday, my friends all decided to take me to a strip club.
Already amazing.
Oh,
I'm not going to mention names of this particular ex-girlfriend because that's just not fair. But because she is a lovely, lovely person. But she got very sort of jealous and protective about the fact that I was getting a lap dance. And so she sort of huddled herself in a corner and got her nails and started scratching the skin off of her own arm.
Wow.
I shouldn't laugh at that. That's terrifying, but still, all the same.
Yeah, it was weird, but I was really drunk and didn't really notice or care because I had tits in my face.
Did you buy a strip of snip that gets you
I
kicked out?
didn't buy a stripper's nipple. I'm not John.
This is always interesting. Halfway through the podcast, and I get a big thing fly up on my screen going, "You need to update Java."
Oh.
Dear God.
So what about you, Brian? Go on. You've been
Well,
quiet with this subject so far. You've
yeah,
had
I'm
enough
try-
time to
I've been-
think.
Trying to think about it, yeah. I mean, I'd say I'd have to be Einstein's mind.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
He
Didn't
was
think
a
about
bit
it.
mental though.
We've all gone for intelligent people, which is good. Yeah, but Sherlock Holmes isn't exactly sane.
Yeah, but Einstein he didn't actually do any of his own maths. He just had the theories.
Oh, but we were also missing another key mind that is probably the most expansive mind in the world, and that's the Doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
that's true.
I think everyone would
Actually,
enjoy
yeah,
that.
I'd probably go for his lifestyle. Actually, you know what?
Yeah, that's well, there you go. He's,
Going for the Doctor.
I'm gonna
just
be
wanna-
Amy then.
I'm going to be the Doctor with David Beckham's body. If David Beckham plays the Doctor, and I'm going to say this to you now, David, please play the Doctor, because then you'll be the ultimate man.
Fuck that, Bradley Cooper playing the Doctor.
Could you imagine
Oh.
David Beckham's voice as the Doctor?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Fuck.
No, I can't get it out of my head now. Fuck.
I'm trying to think. Just thinking of him going like time and relative dimensions in space.
Jennifer Lawrence as the Doctor. Bevan's just posted Jennifer Lawrence as the Doctor. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Well, so here we go. So
To
we
be fair,
should do,
Jennifer Lawrence as anything.
yeah.
just
True.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
All right, let's pick. Let's just keep it to British actors though. Who would you love to be the Doctor, and who would you love to be his companion?
Rupert Grint, Doctor.
Oh god.
Hey,
look.
he's always
Oh, no,
talking
wait,
about
no.
wanting to be ginger.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think Rupert Grint would do that really well, actually.
Yeah, I do as well. I think Simon Pegg would also be quite a fun Doctor.
Yeah, that would
He
be.
did play the
Yeah.
editor though.
And have you seen Judy Dench wants to be the Doctor?
Oh,
Really?
mate, that would be fantastic.
Yeah,
I,
female
I
doctor.
think she'd do a
I'd
really
love
good
it,
job
right?
of that.
That'd be cool.
I'd love it.
Moffat has actually said that it's somewhere where he wants to go, having a female Doctor.
Yeah, why not? Even
Totally
if they
behind
do it
it.
for like one season and then just
Yeah.
cut it out for the next season if it doesn't work out, it's still that, it can be one of those Minerva moments from.
Yeah,
I was
it gets-
about to say Minerva.
Such a Minerva.
And then
Community.
Moffat would have just Brited it. But,
Yeah. I would like to see Lee Evans as a Doctor because I'm a huge fan of Lee Evans.
Oh, no, I don't like Leo.
No, not at all.
I
Not at all.
I do kind of like Lee. I don't love him as much as a lot of people do, but I do like Lee Evans. But I do not think that he would be a good Doctor.
I got one that would be hilarious, and I think this should be done as a spoof because this is the only way I think it would be amazing, and that's Eddie Izzard.
Oh wow.
Maybe it's got to be a quality Doctor. I actually genuinely stand by you with that and think it would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
You could literally make a cross-dressing Doctor with Eddie Izzard. It would be
Tom Hiddleston could be a fantastic master, I reckon.
I was trying
Yeah,
to defeat
yeah.
the Daleks, but I was putting on my makeup. That was the Eddie Izzard's problem. Covered in
What do you think-
bees.
I do think that Capaldi is going to be quite good.
I think
Yeah.
it's going to be fantastic.
Have you seen the thick of it Doctor Who crossover?
That's
it's
so
amazing.
funny. It is. I would
Fucking
love it.
time
if that-
travel.
It's like, sorry, but Doctor Who's being moved on to 10 o'clock past Watershed now. Can you imagine just like Doctor swearing away like
I
that?
think they should record an episode of that as for fun.
Have you seen it?
just shove it on YouTube for the fans.
But what about Companion? What do you think for Companion?
Ooh.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Lawrence, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. You just read my mind.
Oh my God, Jennifer Lawrence doing a proper like Lara Croft British accent.
Jeez.
Oh, fuck me.
My dear Lord.
I know she's not
Don't.
British, but the girl who played Summer on the OC.
Rachel Bilson.
yes, I think
Alison
something
Brie.
similar. I'm
Totally
waiting
did
for
not-
Bevan to find it on IMDb.
Guys,
Yeah, it is. It is.
Alison
Rachel
Brie.
Bilson.
Alison Brie. Yeah, that's a good. point.
Yeah, she's.
To be fair, she does.
As Annie Edison.
She does the Inspector Space quite well. So Have you heard they're supposed to be making a community spin-off of Adventure Space Time?
Oh, really? What's his name?
Time.
Inspector Spacetime.
Space Time.
That was funny.
That's
As long as it's not the
supposed
PS3 written one.
There
was
is that.
just
I'm not
gonna say that.
sure if it's actually a real thing, but yeah.
Danny Puddy as a companion. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. He had a nice cameo in Captain America 2.
Yes, he did.
I tried struggling to. Oh yeah. Oh yes, he did. didn't he? Of course he did.
Yeah, he was there. He was in it for about a minute, maybe.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember Amber and I just like looking at each other, just going as soon as we
That's
saw.
exactly what me and Dan did.
Is it Mike? Have you
Sorry,
seen
me and Bevan.
what's that film
Sorry,
that we
sorry,
watched, Toby, with Peter Dinklage, Danny Puddy,
Peter Dinklage.
The Knights of
The
Badassdom.
Knights of Badassdom? That film is so good.
They spent all the budget on getting Peter Dinklage and Danny Puddy in it.
I feel like I need to see this film.
I think
Yeah,
you should.
same.
It's basically
If you want to watch Peter Dinklage dressed as a warrior who eats shrooms,
it's LARPing, but with
It's
Peter
about
Dinklage
LARP,
and
yeah.
Danny Puddy.
Oh, it has Summer
Yeah, it
Glau.
has Summer
in
Glau,
it as
Summer
well.
Glau's-
Oh my god.
and she looks great
This.
in it.
Summer
Title-
Glau as a companion. There you go. There's another one.
Yeah.
I'm just pretty much trying to think of really hot people.
Oh my god,
Okay.
missing this. Fillion as the Doctor.
Oh,
Oh,
Nathan Fillion.
Yes,
think
as
I
the-
think-
Yes.
I think I just messed
Definitely.
everywhere.
No, I'm not even going to say. I'm going to
Correct.
say Nathan Fillion getting headbutted by the Doctor, so he knows, like, you know what happened with Craig. So he gives Mal control of the TARDIS and gives him the brain of a Time Lord. And then having Mal and the Doctor on board the TARDIS. There we go. Malcolm Reynolds is the companion for the Doctor.
Oh my god.
With another female there, of course,
that would
which
be
could be Summer Glau.
Yeah.
What's it? Bryan Cranston as the Doctor.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh my
For
god,
forever.
I would
That
love
That
to
needs to
see
be
that.
done. That needs to be done. Omid Jalili.
I think we're just getting a little bit too silly now.
I think
Yeah.
it's a little bit too silly.
I've got a question. from my list of things in front of me. Something happened here the other day. I say the other day, it was about 2 weeks ago, and it made me think. Like, do you ever just jump into situations without question when your mates are involved, and just
Yes.
do shit? And the example I've got here, which is quite a funny story as well, is Laura was having a nap, and she woke up for Jack being loud or whatever, and she sent him a message like, "I feel like I'm still asleep," and he was like, "You need to wake up, Laura. You need to wake up, Laura." And she was like, "Oh, stop it! You're making me paranoid." And he sent me a message like, "We need to convince Laura she's asleep." And I, without thinking, went, "Okay," just straight outside my door and was like, "You need to wake up, Laura. I didn't even question it. Just, you need to wake up, Laura. You need to wake up." And then like Jack started to try and like talk backwards, and then I completely clicked in. Was like, "How's?" He just started talking gibberish for a little bit, and we both completely clicked into it, and then both started walking backwards at the same time, and she freaked. It was amazing. Like, do you guys ever have any things like that?
I would say that if there's a decent prank to be pulled, or something like if my friends are like need like some backup, then I'm definitely going to be there. But yeah. So yeah, I would definitely just jump into things. I wouldn't even question it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't think I have any of those stories.
No, I can't think.
I can't think like there has been times when we have done it. I mean, again, we've done it to Laura, like with Nathan in his pull-up bar.
Yep.
We did it with that, and made her believe that it was always there when it clearly
Been
wasn't.
there for about
Just
an
put it up. But I mean, like that is when you when you band together in a conversation. I mean, like when Laura locked stuff out of her room the other day, and we kind of ganged up on her.
Yeah, it was funny, but it was cruel as shit.
But
They generally are, though, aren't they? When you do these sort of things.
Yeah.
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 And I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, it seems to happen to Laura all the fucking time. And I was like, well, it does happen to like Jack and Nathan, but it's usually like me and Jack versus Nathan, or me and Nathan versus Jack. It never happens when Laura's around. she only gets like attacked with shit. She never gets to attack.
Yeah. No, I really can't think of any more examples of that, to be honest.
No,
I mean, it just generally comes when you're just like trolling someone.
Yeah,
And
it
if someone
just-
knows that you're trolling them, then it's just like bang, they'll do it. They'll play along because it's always funny. It's a good hoot at the end of the day.
It's a hoot at Portons Park.
Portons Park.
Portons Park. What's Portons Park?
It's an adventure park for like a theme park for young'uns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just on the road actually. It's not really
Yeah,
far.
it's up near Romsey, isn't it? Is it Romsey?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's right.
yeah, and it's like mascot is an owl, and so there used to be loads of adverts which is just like it's a hoot at Portons Park.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
This summer, can we go to the zoo or something, or Monkey
Yes.
World or anything?
Yeah.
I want to go to Monkey World. I want to go to the
Still
zoo. I want to go to the Tank Museum because, tanks and shit.
We should
Oh,
do
yeah,
that.
We could do the Tank Museum and we could do Tank
Proper
Museum and
puppets.
Monkey World at the same time because I'm pretty sure they're next to each other.
They're quite close. They're both down that way near Wareham Way.
Also, let's do Splashdown again.
Oh, fuck yeah. That was amazing.
Last time we went, it was only like an hour, wasn't it?
We were
Yeah,
there,
because
we
they
were
were
there for an
closing
hour.
early for a
I
party.
seriously felt like I was in there for a year.
I'm taking this as like a water park
Yeah,
because I've
Fun.
never heard of it.
And we seem
you
to
get to
have
go around on the rings and just like tip each other over, and it's fun.
We had so much fun on that.
I swear Mike's like the only person who can stay in the rubber rings all the way around.
Yep, pretty
Yeah, I couldn't stay over one fucking like bump. Every single time I was out on my ass.
Oh Jesus!
Good fun
I
though.
remember I fell
It's
into that
fucking
back.
hilarious.
I used to be able to like slip through the middle, so I could just like fold myself up and just go through the middle if I wanted to go out. I can't do that anymore.
I am far too large a man to do that.
I'm too tall these days, but
I barely get in that ring anyway.
I used to be able to get like just slip through the middle and just come back up in the middle of it. Oh, last time we went, when I came up in that other kid's ring.
You want to be careful, how you say that.
Phrasing.
Oh, dear.
Oh god, that was really bad.
Oh shit!
Pretty much.
Arch moment there.
I fell off the ring, and as I surfaced, I was like face to face with this random child as I'd come up
Don't
in
even
these.
say it's gonna sound right. So
There's no
But
way,
yes,
there's no way
I
to
do
recover
remember
from that.
do you remember when I came up in that child's ring? Sorry.
You did what? If anyone's like gonna skip through the podcast, like not really listen to it, just gets to that point, they're really
Oh,
killing
the fly's
question.
back. Oh, these films are cool. Oh, I came up in some kid's ring. That's what you're gonna get. Oh god,
Oh god.
I remember,
Disclose any of his personal information.
indeed.
Well,
I remember last time when we were there, because I'm quite heavy. Let's leave it at that. I sitting on the rings. They just kind of like sink a little bit too much. It's really awkward.
It's trying to get into the slides on the rings when this thing sunk too much, though, isn't it? You sort of like to have to like heave yourself up.
Yeah, I was having to like jump into the ring in the slide because I wasn't getting over the bump.
It's when we grab onto each other's rings. That still sounds wrong.
Oh my god, we did that and we had like 10 people in a row all going down.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And then you all flip when you hit the bottom.
Again, phrasing was very much in mind there. We're grabbing each other's rings and going down
That's what I was going for that time.
while it was wet and everything was splashing. I had a good time.
Yeah.
I had a
Splash
great
was
time.
Fantastic.
It sounds amazing.
Then, like, Mike fell on top of me.
Yeah.
And then
That was a different occasion, though.
I think that was our regular Bukake meetings, wasn't it?
Either way, you still ended up coming up in his ring.
At least I shards this time.
I think we need to do some more nerdy stuff lately. I think we should have a tabletop evening.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I was planning on doing
Definitely.
it soon. I've got lots of new tabletop games that we can play. I've got one called
Really?
Rampage. Which is
When
amazingly
when
fun.
are you free this week, Mike? Let's arrange this.
Maybe Sunday, but I may be going over to my mum's in the evening for like dinner and shit.
Are you not like free or any time in the week or
Only evenings.
any evenings? Well, you could do it in the evening thing, can't we?
We do
Really?
it Wednesday evening, but I don't know. Wednesday? Yeah.
Well, I really want to play with these two guys. I want to play definitely Munchkin.
Munchkin's amazing.
Munchkin, I want to play, but like the four of us have to play, or five of us.
I think
Sorry.
for people who don't know what Munchkin is, it's basically an RPG without the hassle.
That's true.
Okay.
It's almost like playing Dungeons and Dragons in a way, I suppose.
But again, without the hassle, you have cards which are your gear. You don't really need to
It's
search. for it.
adaptive.
And it's just literally you kick down a door, you fight a monster. If you find one, if you don't, then you can loot the room. And to gain a level, you either use cards which make you level, or you kill a monster. And it's just simplistic and amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it is. And what was the other one? Tokyo one was good.
King of Tokyo.
King of Tokyo, that was sick. I loved that
So-
game.
You have to punch everyone.
Yeah, you take it. You're all a big monster. Like someone's a big
Right.
robot, someone's a
Basically
dragon.
taking the part of you are a Godzilla type monster. I've got another one like that which I've just recently bought called
Awesome.
Rampage, where the mechanics are amazing.
Yeah.
To move around the board, you have to flick your little piece around the board. To destroy the buildings, you have to drop it onto the board to destroy the buildings, and your aim is to like eat as many people as possible. And then there's another mechanic where you have to put your chin on your monster and try and blow things down.
That sounds amazing.
You have to play that. And I like that bamboo one we played as well.
Takanoko.
I mean, New Year's we played so many, didn't we?
Yeah,
We just to be like clarified, we didn't actually drink on New Year's, did we? We just
a
played.
little bit, but
We
not
played
much.
board games and
Yeah.
I've
We
got a-
pretty much had a table full of alcohol, and barely any of it actually got drank.
it was an odd New Year's, but it was funny. I remember staying up very late though.
There was a lot of SingStar as well that night.
Oh
SingStar
yeah,
is fantastic.
and a lot of 80s and 90s pop that Ryan danced to a lot.
Oh my god!
I think he put on a playlist and danced to it for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then we played that fairy tale
Wow.
game. Remember that one?
Oh,
That's another one we
Once
should
on a
play.
Time, the one we
And
had to
we
make
should
a
probably
sort
get
of-
these guys playing Game of Thrones at one point as well.
Game of Thrones is probably the best board game I own. I mean,
Yeah.
I would gladly recommend Game of Thrones to anybody, even
Yeah.
if they're not really a fan of board games or Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
It's
just in general as
so
a board
much
game,
fun.
the way it works and the way like it's played is just
Yeah.
fantastically. It takes ages to play. I don't
There's
think it takes as long as Battlestar does, But
no, it doesn't take as
it's
nearly-
basically a board game based on the TV series, by the way, if people were wondering.
It was originally based on the
Really?
books. Actually, I'd just like to say.
Nice.
Yeah, on
Um,
the book, sorry.
Yeah, basically, and also there's no downtime really for anyone because everyone puts down their markers at the same time, and then you do one of your orders. Like each person will do one of their orders in turn, and it goes round in a circle like
Yeah,
that.
and it
So-
basically, like, you all plug in your moves and then everything happens.
Yeah,
Okay.
And
so everything's essentially happening almost.
unless you're playing with Johnny, of course, then he
In
takes
which
about 10
case-
years with everything he does.
And also, you just like go, "Hey, Johnny, if you do that, I'll do this. You know, if you like go over into that space, then I'll completely leave you alone. I promise."
Scrub dead.
And then he goes into the other place, and you just like invade his like home castle.
But I think we should start doing that. I think we should, because it will give us something interesting to talk about on the podcast as well.
There's a
Yeah.
If we do some like weekly board gaming, it'd be awesome.
yeah. There's one I want to find. A friend of mine has. I'll get the details off it. It's basically like a luchador wrestling board game,
That sounds
Awesome.
and
amazing.
it's all like card based things. Like you get, like you have to play cards like a punch and a kick or a headbutt or like a flying kick and stuff. And then you've
Yeah.
got like
Yeah, see, it's
power
like
points
if
you
it's
play
well
like that.
designed,
And
like
it's,
that.
it's really simple and really easy to play, and it's a lot of fun.
yeah,
And that's
it's almost like
that's all you need.
it's almost like that internet board game, card game that we have, Toby.
Oh my god, the internet card game.
We-
that is the bane of everyone here's life.
We unfortunately bended a couple of the rules and made it better, so it was kind
we
of a bit
sat
more.
and read through the rules, and we were like, "This game is bullshit. Let's fix it."
We basically did like a patch for
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
We
there was
updated
one
the fucker.
evening where me and Toby and Jack played for 3 hours,
Yeah, and
of two of which of those hours we were stuck in one loop where we were just dicking each other. We all needed one thing to win. So yeah, and then we went and got McDonald's at 4 in the morning.
Basically, I'm gonna say that if anyone ever actually wants to get into tabletop games, the best thing to do is just to watch tabletop on YouTube. Will Wheaton playing board games. It's probably one of the best things I've ever watched. It's amazingly good.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sweet. I think
I
it's
love
that
those
time,
videos.
isn't it?
it
Toby?
is that time indeed.
It's that time.
which
I'm
means
preparing my
It's
own-
time to ask
Oh,
the
okay.
guests the questionnaire
Yes, here
from
we go.
inside the actor studio.
Now, I did watch last week, or listen last week, and think of some answers to these questions, but I can't remember any of them.
That's fine. That is
Let's
fine.
go
Don't
for
worry
it.
about it.
Okay, right. So, question 1: what is your favorite word?
It's between two. One of them is rude than the other. It's either going to have to be like shenanigans
Like
I like
it?
that word.
because
it.
that's just a fun word, or cunnilingus.
Oh, cunnilingus. What a
Oh,
word.
kind
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. Cunnilingus is one of those words where you just you have to enjoy that word.
yes.
Okay, so the opposite. What is your least favorite word?
See, I was having trouble with this one last time. I don't really know. I can't really think of anything which I really, really, really dislike, apart from maybe anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Like it?
Just because it's one of those words which everyone will like say, like, oh yeah, it's a long word, so therefore it's cool, but really it's just like, yeah,
Not cool.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's uncool.
Yeah.
Very quickly, typing all these answers out and write down cunnilingus, and my Word document goes, don't know that word. Did you mean ceilings?
I thought it would at least come up with like cunning or something.
No, just ceilings.
The ceilings.
Amazing. Okay, question 3. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
So not sexually. So
Not sexually,
necessarily
basically.
Um,
Do that as well if you want, I guess.
oh, there's lots of things that turn me on, but we won't get into those.
Wonderful.
That's a dark space.
Another episode, maybe.
Yeah, it's going to take a whole episode to go through them all.
I think things that really, really like make me happy would be probably board games, which we were just talking about, and also things like comic books.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just,
I agree with that.
Playing board games with my friends, and watching comic book movies, or reading comic books, or just like sci-fi books and fantasy books, just that sort of stuff. Just anything which could be remotely considered geeky, I suppose, just makes me a little bit happy.
Okay, so the opposite then. What turns you off?
That's a good question. Working probably would be a good one.
Yeah.
having to actually, go. I work pushing trolleys, which is,
That sounds like the best job.
the height of life, and especially when it's raining and in thunderstorms.
Yeah, but are you the chief trolley pusher, or are you just a trolley pusher?
It depends on the day, I suppose, because quite often I'm the chief trolley pusher. But if there's a guy who I work with who everyone calls Bunny because his surname is Rabbits,
Amazing.
and he's been there since forever, and so I suppose he's kind of the chief trolley pusher.
Yeah, but surely you're better than him, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I could definitely do more work than he can because he's like 65, and so sort of like when he's like about
You
half.
should probably retire, but you just can't give up the trolleys.
Okay, so always a favorite. What's your favorite curse word?
Probably bastard.
Mm.
Because it just
Bastard.
it just comes that word is just bastard. It just comes out in such like
Phrasing.
force.
It's you
Yeah.
bastard. It's a good one.
Bastard.
I like that one. That's a
Bastard.
good one.
You can really put some emphasis behind it.
You can really, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good curse word. You bastard.
Okay, cool. What sound or noise do you love?
The sound of children's laughter. No.
You do that coming up in kids' rings.
I don't know. Probably the sound of my own victory when playing a game or something.
Yeah.
That's quite fun. Like because when I win a board game, there's usually this sort of like smug voice in my head, which is like, "Yeah, motherfucker." Whereas out in real life, I'm just sort of like, "Yeah, I won. That's cool. Yeah, well played, guys." But in my head, I'm just like, "Yeah." I know that's not really a sound, but it is a sound to me.
Like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, the opposite. What sound or noise do you hate?
Now this I'm only going to say because it was like recent. But the other day I was trying to sleep on my day off of work, and the cunt next door was building something, and so all I could hear was bum 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 the entirety of the morning. He
That's a good
started at
impression.
like 8 o'clock, and I was just there like, "Shut up, you stupid cunt!"
Somebody this morning here was using a pressure washer on something metal, and at about 10 o'clock this morning, all you could hear was this noise. Just this like noise for about an hour, and it was at the back of my house, and my bedroom's at the front of the house, and I could hear it.
So yeah, that's probably going to be my current most annoying noise because he's been doing that for a little while. Maybe the checkout tills at work, because when you're sitting at a till, you start to go a little bit crazy.
I know exactly what you mean, mate.
It's just the fact that it's constant. It's not even like consistent. If it was consistent, I could probably deal with it. But it's the fact that everyone's scanning at different moments, and there's like 12 different tills, and so it's just boop 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 beep boop beep beep boop.
Oh, it's so annoying.
I just need to interject quickly because I was just on Facebook and a post was just posted, and the title of it was "School Bully Not So Tough Since Being Molested."
Okay.
So I don't know what you've been up to, Mike, but
Incredible.
as
Yeah,
far as the
sorry.
conversations have gone today, could be.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Anyway, please carry on.
Yeah,
Okay.
carry on. More questions.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Attempt. I'd like to be a director.
That'd be fun.
I really like films, and I would love to actually create one.
Makes sense.
'Cause
Yeah.
I mean, I do write scripts in my spare time. That is like one of my one of my hobbies. But I'd like to actually direct a film and do it properly. Have a nice high budget movie that I've made has my name on it.
Maybe we'll make one day. Talk
Maybe.
stuff the movie.
Bevan's waving to you there. Get in
Yeah,
touch.
I saw.
Okay,
Okay.
so again, the opposite. What profession would you not like to do?
My old house when I lived with my parents, we had a septic tank,
Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
and because we lived like out in country,
Right.
and it got very, very blocked at one point for
Oh,
some
no.
reason. I think it was like too much hair in the pipes or something, and we had to get some guy over to completely clean out the septic tank.
Jesus
Now, I'm
Christ.
pretty sure that's probably a job that I would never, ever, 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 ever want to do because he's literally just wading around in people's shit.
Fucking hell.
Oh god,
Mm.
yeah. There's no way.
Oh dear.
So
Okay.
I'd have to go with that.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Okay, last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Hey, come in, bro. Have a spliff.
I
Very,
like it.
very simple, very easy.
I like
And
it.
to be honest, that's that's pretty chilled. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty good. So it is that horrible time, guys.
That's it.
It's
We
that
over.
sad time where we're going to finish for this week.
Oh no.
Thank you for coming on, Mike.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sure we will.
A good laugh.
It
You
has
will
been. It's
guarantee
been
you'll
good.
be on again.
I guarantee you'll be on like in a month or so or something like that. But we do have
look
plenty
forward
of
to
guests
it.
coming on.
Mm.
So yeah, that's it.
Exciting.
We've got-
Enjoy your evenings.
Who's
or whatever
next
you
week?
can
Who's next week?
do. Next
Bevan.
week is Bevan.
Bevan,
Yes,
our
the
producer,
producer
is
is coming
our
on.
special guest next week with, I believe, a colleague of his.
A colleague.
Yeah, from his other operation than us now.
Yes, we all have them.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so
he'll tell us about it next week, I'm sure.
yeah,
See, he's even
talk
just
about
said, I'll talk about it next week. There you go. Sorted.
Awesome.
brilliant.
Awesome.
Right. So yeah, thanks, Mike, and take care, everybody.
Yeah.
Catch you
thanks.
See you later.
Yeah.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.